I won't bet my goat on the Clippers. It's done. They are roasted. I'll never bet my goat on England in any football tournament until they play as UK. I won't bet my goat. I won't. Yes, everything we do is social politicking. Politics is life. It brings discussion. It brings triggering moments when one person says one thing that changes the dynamics. And when we decide to follow, as they say, the rest is history. Yes, it is a call to action that those who says, "Oh, you are too political. Oh, everything is politics." They are the troubles of our world because everything we do is politics. From the air we breathe, from our environment, from the food we eat, from the goat we roast, from the GMOs that are confusing us, to the war room and the bedroom where production takes place, to family conversations, to what's next, to our health issues, to the coronavirus pandemic, and more importantly, the vaccine. All is politics that needs critical conversation. And if you cannot overstand that even the prophets were politicians, not politicians, because they engage in social activism. They congregated with the lessers. They did not just look for the who's. And that begs the question of the past genocidal issues of the white privilege or the purported white privilege people. Because we know in our world is only humanity. But the racialization and colorization have confused us. I take a moment and I ask the world to pay a moment of silence to all those innocent people kind who have lost their lives on genocidal acts, from the so-called transatlantic trade, which was genocidal, to the murderous genocidal acts against indigenous people in this land that has stand on our home away from home, Canada. We've just seen the gruesome discovery of unmarked graves everywhere. It's a conversation, it's a community call that we all globally needs to demand. Prime Minister Trudeau have played his part to call on the Pope to apologize. Is still pending. And we had a cuckoo-head pastor praising the deeds of the Catholic mission to the abuse. It's the same nonsensical nonsense we see on spiritual leaders, African spiritual leaders, or religious leaders that downplay the impact of that genocidal so-called transatlantic slave trade that have traumatized and keep the mental state of Africans globally confused like coconut head. And we see Africans, some lost ones, who blame their fellow Africans of selling. They do not talk about the perseverance and the resilience of their great fathers because we do not tell our stories. We demand that the Queen, the Canadian government, takes action. And all of us who call ourselves Canadians, who blame the victims, the indigenous people who are our host, it's time to reconcile and stand with them at this very, very tormenting moment until all right or wrong against others are recognized. These tormentors will keep us suppressed. We demand on the Queen to take ownership because, as we call on the Pope, whatever happened in Canada in those yesteryears We have the signature of the Queen. The Sir MacDonald's United nonsense teach the Indians to get the Indian out of them was their mission. The ghost of the unmarked graves is on the back of every human being. Canada, do the right thing. It is time for an all-inclusive independent party for action, not commission of inquiry, because that was rested and the issues were spelled out. Together we are better as a family of humanity. As a family, yesterday was a wonderful moment because a family discussion, a family discourse on Zoom yield a motivational moment, and we call on people for family unity as the world.